it, at the time. Yeah. Now, you were probably at the height of that career, Baby Vox, and you were injured or got sick.
Yes.
So what all happened? Tell us, the whole thing. You started with this magazine interview, boom, you guys are on the height. You were like the HOT of girl groups, Baby Vox, and then what happened?
Well, I am very physically weak as it is, and like I said, when the first thing that we did when I got off the plane was they were like, okay, do this, dance class, do this, do that, and I just got really burnt out, just because I didn't have a chance to kind of work and kind of ease into it. It was like I felt thrown in, and I just couldn't handle it. I think mentally too, I wasn't mature enough, and it was just physically, the dancing. We practiced 7-8 hours a day after doing the 방송s. So it was just crazy, and my knee actually started giving me problems and hurting, and it was like shooting pains, and I knew something was wrong. So I went to the doctor, and they're like, the cartilage is getting damaged from all the dancing. So, and after that, my aunt was like, you should you need to go rest, and my parents were like, okay, come back home. So I was like, okay.
Now, when you talk about the story, it really gives chills to my spine too, because as a young female, you're in the height of your dream, being this amazing superstar singer, and the lead vocal on top of that, but then your body's, collapsing on you at the same time. And this happens in all the groups, and many people don't realize, the Pussycat Dog, those girls are so beat up and, hurt all the time from dancing. We know physically that was strong and, it was hard for you. What about mentally? How did that affect you mentally?
Definitely, when you are tired and you're in pain, it definitely affects you mentally.
Yeah.
So, and just because we're so busy and I didn't really have time to think, that I think at the time, because, and I was younger too, so because I couldn't think, when my parents were like, come home, I was like, okay. It's not anything I could even think about, because I was just so tired.
How long was that period? You just boom, right up.
It was a very short period. It was less than a year. It was 8-9 months. Yeah. It's like having a baby.
Yeah, that is a baby.
Yeah.
Really, for any group to rise up like that in 8 or 9 months, that's amazing, and you need powerful talents that you had in the group too. And you being a lead vocal, that really carried a lot. Now, what happened then after that? Once you left, what do you think happened?
Well, there's a lot of stuff going on, I guess. There's always stuff behind the scenes. And I did kind of know that, the older 언니, she knew that I was really 힘들어. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
I was having a hard time. And she was like, don't leave, because once you make your exit, this group's going to break, apart. But like I said, I couldn't really think about that.
Right.
I was just kind of pulled out of there by my family. So, yeah.
That's amazing, because a lot of times we have many groups, and a lot of times you can't help it. There's fighting involved, and people, mind games and things like this. But here's a group member who's older than you, who could probably have taken the lead vocal too, right? Or she's the lead, but wanted you to stay on, and then had asked you to stay on because after you go, then the lead, it will just kind of break apart. Now, how did you feel that?
I guess at the time I didn't really realize, but looking back after I had left, I was like, wow, and there was always something where I was like, I felt guilty, I guess, in a way, after I saw there were member changes after I left.
Oh.
Yeah.
So right away, they put somebody in right after, right?
Yeah.
And now, how did you feel when you're seeing this? You saw this when you were in LA, huh? And how did you feel?
Well, I knew that I just couldn't do it, you know? So, of course, replacing me is okay, but I guess when I saw the other girls, the older girls that I had, made it this far with, when they left, of course, I was sad. And I was like, oh, what's happening?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, you said, of course, there's singing practice every day, and what's really taken a toll at that time was physically dance practice.
Yeah.
And you said was it 7 hours a day of dance practice?
If we had time, because some days we just had 방송 all day, and then we would practice for like 3 hours and go home and sleep for like 3-4 hours and wake up again.
And
it
then
was
you're
really
back
tiring.
at the salon, getting your hair and makeup done.
Yeah, you know the deal.
And then back on the stage,
Yeah.
dancing and singing. Wow. And about how many broadcasts did you have in a day?
It was a lot. At one point, I think it was like maybe at most like 3, which is a lot because there's a lot of driving involved.
Yeah.
And even, going down to the other cities. The manager who was driving us around, he would drive like crazy where we were like, okay, no car accident, like, please, I want to live.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
it was just
They
crazy.
drive so fast because some of these were probably live broadcasts and things like this.
Right.
Wow, so you were going from like TV to radio and things like this. Now, with all 5 members, who would do most of the speaking in these interviews?
Definitely the leader, the oldest. Yeah.
So she was actually the leader, but you were the lead vocal,
Yes.
in this. And at that time, your Korean was very limited, right?
Yeah, it was so bad.
So tell us, how did you go through that obstacle? Because many of our viewers are here and they want to improve their English and learn English more.
Right.
And so we use this as, a fun way for everyone to learn English. Now here you were in the opposite end, trying to learn Korean. How did you, try to get your Korean to improve? I mean, right now, when you're speaking, you're throwing in Korean words, so you've gotten comfortable with Korean.
Oh, definitely. There are sometimes I can't even think of the English word.
Yeah.
It's like all I can think of is the Korean word. But definitely dramas. I think dramas and having a friend, like, the girls talking with them. And I'm not really the most, like, outgoing person, but I think if your personality is like really, there's people who are just very outgoing, talkative, you're definitely going to learn faster.
Yes.
Yeah, it's all in the effort, I think.
That's right. So you actually, in LA, you're watching maybe some of the Korean dramas and listening to Korean K-pop.
Right.
And this definitely picks up your Korean.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm going to take this moment. We call it the shooting star moment. And this is when I give you either a tip or an expression. So shooting star moment here, just as you heard it from Cha Yumi or Lola Fair, for improving her Korean, watching Korean dramas or